Test. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we start talking or wait until they
No, I think
reply? Okay.
You should totally definitely start talking.
What do you mean?
Take it away, Sabina.
No. Well, okay.
Yeah, she was just saying how she's less nervous this time. So
Yeah.
that's very good.
I am. I feel way more comfortable because, we have so much to talk about, but also the chat will always, question come in. So we will be guided, I'm sure. So anyways, this morning I was so happy. I was reading the comments again, and there was one comment from Liberation saying, I want to hear all the perception and perspectives of different beings out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pour it out. And why is that so beautiful, Roger?
Yeah, it's just such a beautiful comment because it's showing an openness, right? And that's what we need to be as, spiritual seekers or human beings in general. We have to be open to other people's perspectives and points of views, and not only just other people and other religious and spiritual people, but the mystics and the enlightened ones and the sages and the saints, that were teaching their experience, right? Because that's what it's all about, right? The teachings of truth and higher reality of God and non-duality and the spiritual realms or whatever it may be, like it's only entering this world, through these spiritually enlightened or advanced beings, right? Those with direct experience, transcending the ego, and then, really getting a glimpse, right, of the moksha and the nirvana, salvation, call it what you will, but these experiences are really what is, teaching humanity and mankind. And the underlying foundational teaching within that is, a oneness, or love one another, or we're one family. So, so beautiful, beautiful comment. And we're looking forward to discussing all of that with all of you. So welcome, everybody.
Exactly. Facts and Lies here. He just came from work.
Welcome. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Well, first the members. My sister, of course, with her math channel. Then my mom, of course, and one of my daddies. So I'm very blessed with a very supportive family. I have to say, they're always there. That's really amazing. Then we have Fire You Boss. Oh, I saw a comment from him yesterday. I remember that name.
Oh, yeah.
It's really funny.
He's a great comment.
Ram and Bhavesh Sony.
Sony. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
And Facts Never Lie also is a member. He's been with us since the beginning, and there's a lot. They all have their green heart chakra opened. I think that means they've been a member for 6 months. So
beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Now people are starting to come. Anjali, a very, very supportive subscriber. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, commenting on everything and helping us out with some things too, right?
Yeah.
Sabina's got a discussion going. It's great.
Daniel Stewart, hello, spiritual seeker.
Yes. Hello.
Devdatta Thakre, raise the world. Yes. Nice. Well, Debbie Prasad. What's the time? God bless you. God bless you too. It is 8:00 in the morning here in Canada. We're up since 1.5 hours.
Yep, getting set up, ready to go.
Yeah. Hi, sister and brother. Hi, Satish.
Hi.
Namaste, Pratam. I am Satish from Mumbai. Namaste and Om Shanti. Nice.
Yeah, people from all over. Maybe if you guys want to, comment just where you're from, what part of the world, what part of India. Most of you, most of you we know are from India, but what region or what city. That would be great because we love getting to know you guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just say Facts Never Lie. Where do we buy our spiritual decorations?
We have a new tapestry.
We got a new one.
We use it for the first time.
It's the world.
I think we got that from Amazon, actually.
Yeah, we ordered a few. Yeah, our last 3 were from Amazon.
And Germany, New Delhi.
New
Nice.
Delhi,
We've been there.
Yes.
Odisha. Never heard of. You're from Vrindavan.
Wow.
We know Vrindavan by now.
That's on our list. Yeah. We want to go there for sure.
Hydra. New York City. Oh wow.
Hey,
I think we never got greetings from New York. Yeah,
No,
you're the first. Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
That's very cool. Maharashtra, India.
Maharashtra.
We like you too, Ankit. And another. Oh yeah, Odisha. Yeah, cool. Anyway,
Sweet.
So shall we start?
All right.
Did anybody watch any of our God videos? We watched. How many did you count?
We watched 17 publicly that we published, but of course we watched more. We didn't publish all of them, so we watched about 25, I'd say, in total.
Oh yeah.
God videos. Some of them we reserved and just chose not to publish them, but most of them we published. Most of them were good, right?
Yeah, we were in only for one shock.
Yeah, one really.
But we put that members only, so our members will know. But let's not talk about it.
Yeah. So the underlying theme of the God special was just to get an idea and a glimpse of what, spiritual teachers, are teaching on YouTube. And there was a kind of like a universal theme of all of them, the teachers that we watched anyway, and that consciousness is a big part of, God, equating, God with consciousness, or consciousness is the manifestation of God, but very, very interrelated. Like Rupert Spira, we're all dreams in the mind of God. So fundamental, consciousness and awareness, and just our very capacity to experience being primary and central to most of those videos. And the main thing also in discovering and just commenting with people, through the videos is it really, really depends on our definition of God, right? People are using the word God, coming up mostly from religions. And in the past, we know this, religions, tend to be, some of them are very separative, right? So that if you're calling God by this word and you belong to this religion, and then another religion is even using the same word, but because it's a different religion, then they're implying that it's a different God, when that's not necessarily the case, right? And then the skepticism from religion, thinking that, okay, well, they're worshiping, a lower God, right? Depending on your view. If you believe that, there's one God, but then there's, helpers like angels and archangels, or the devas, and whatever word, for the demigods, then it can be really confusing. And then you're getting into polytheism, which is like the Greek gods and the Roman gods. And then, so what is the definition of God? So we're going to start off with our definition of God. Just because when I talk about God, I'm not talking about, a demigod or a deity or a lesser God. To me, the word God means the absolute, infinite, supreme source of everything, absolutely all of existence, right? And it's very dependent on, my teaching from David R. Hawkins, right? And he calibrated this, and he has his style of teaching. And he taught, and many, spiritual teachers do, that God is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, transcendent, and immanent, which means, he's beyond the creation, but he's still very much part of it, right? It's the consciousness, right? And then when you're getting into the Bhagavad Gita and such teachings of, Hinduism, we got to see that we got to leave God unlimited, right? So that's very hard to grasp too, that Krishna is actually, the source of Vishnu, right? And that Krishna would be totally beyond, but still, part of everything, right? He's the animation of absolutely everything, right? So you got to unlimited it, right? Because then you get the debate from the Advaita Vedantists, non-duality, and then the Vedas, which say, well, God is separate. Yeah, so it's unlimited. It's such a high perspective that we can't really, we can't say for sure because we're not there yet. We're not realized, right? So you got to kind of leave it as unlimited. So anything that's possible in the highest view would allow for the multiple views, right?
Exactly.
So, anyways,
I'm stopping you here.
Okay. Cool.
So let's hello world raisers. Hello Venusian. I actually learned that word just the other day. Anyways, someone said, well, first of all, hello to Seek with Seeker. He wanted me to start speaking.
Hello. Oh yeah.
He
yeah.
was speaking
I was
too
rambling
long.
too much. Okay, good. They just cut me off, right? It's totally good.
Okay, let's start here with facts never lie. Islam and Christianity is a god you fear.
Yeah, that's true, but I think that's changing, right? The times have to change, right? Just like everything, religions can evolve. And I know there's a lot of people, some of our viewers and commentators, yeah, that's very, set, especially from some of the atrocities. And I'm not going to lie and say that there hasn't been horrible things that have been done, but they've been done, out of ignorance, right? So not truly understanding, the teachings that God is one, but they're saying God is one, but then they're limiting God, saying that, well, God cannot be a form, or God is only our view of God, and your God is wrong, and then we got to convert you, right? So yeah, and then there's that fear of God, whereas it's like salvation. So this was the last video we watched by Dharma Speaks, saying that those religions, Abrahamic religions, are very much, fear-based, that we have one life, you got to get it right, you just got to believe in God, and you got to follow the rules, and then you get to go to heaven. And if not, you're going to go to hell forever, right? So that's fear-based, whereas the Dharmic traditions are more, experientially based, right? Where knowing that we have many lifetimes and then we have to progress. But it seems like we gotta bring that back, into the culture of the world that, yeah, we gotta seek God, we gotta seek truth. And that's why also I love the teaching that, don't seek God, seek the truth, right? And then the truth will lead you to that, right? So it's like you got to admit that, okay, I don't know as a limited human being, everything that I know is basically come from others outside of myself. That's the upbringing, right? And the influences of society and culture, whatever religion your family is from, you're going to be told to believe that. And most people do, right? But then something will happen and then real seeking starts, right? So that's what happened to me. Okay. Seek the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's keep going here because the chat is starting to light up.
The chat is cruising.
Buddha was born in Nepal, and then someone else said India was Nepal.
Back then.
Oh, yeah, was it?
No, it totally could be, but it wasn't even called India back then. It was called Bharat, I believe, right? So that whole region.
So wherever the great Buddha was born, it is a very pleasant place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to touch on that too, because there is also this inkling within the human mind that we want to be so strict and rigid in our historical facts, right? And people think that the historical facts are, the basis of truth, and we got to like really, really stress on that to the point of even fighting about certain things, right? Like, was Buddha born in India, or was he born in Nepal? Or, and some people get really angry if Hindus say that Buddhism is a branch of Hinduism, right? And all of that, from a certain point of view, like, it's very defensive and it's ego driven, a positionality, and you got to defend it, right? So the whole point of spiritual seeking is the teachings, right? Because everything out there is Maya. It's like an illusion, right? Everybody's acting based on their levels of consciousness, their modes of material nature. So what is actually really important is the teachings. It doesn't matter where Buddha came from. What really matters is what he was teaching, because that'll just
blow your mind all the way beyond.
but there is that ego pride that wants to be like, claim the Buddha as mine and my religion and from my place.
And I
same
was
same
totally
with the
like
rest
that.
of the things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just cut in. Yeah,
Yeah, do it. Go.
Yeah, I was like that too, and I still do sometimes. When we watched this one Sadhguru video, him talking about Shiva and Buddha, and I could really feel my ego grasping, and it was hurt. It hurt. I got really grumpy.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I understand that it is just a limiting view, and it is something I have to transcend. And actually, it's just a belief system, like you say, because yeah, once you're beyond all that, and once you see through all these opinions that you have, then if somebody would say that, you know the truth, and so whatever somebody else says, if it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter, right? So yeah, I do understand when people say Buddhism is a branch of Hinduism, etc. Not anymore, but in the past, I was very proud to be Buddhist, and we don't believe in God, and we don't do this, and we do that. So, anyways, I'm purifying more and more, and so I understand more and more. But it's a phase that people go through, so we do understand.
Should we thank?
Yes.
Was that
Susanne, yeah.
Susanne.
Mathematik.
Thank you for the donation.
Yes, thank you.
We love you.
Someone says God is spiritual conscious. God is the seat of the universe.
Yes.
That is very beautifully put.
Absolutely, right? So the source of absolutely everything. That is, so there's different views, about God, and we can talk about them. I wrote them down just so that I can refer to them. So we have monotheism, which is the belief in one God, one supreme God. And this is very much the Abrahamic religions, and the others. Even Hinduism could be called monotheistic, even though there's multiple deities. Most Hindus know that there's, one absolute God, right? The Godhead, and then the rest of the deities, arise from that. But you can even use Shiva as representative of that absolute God, or Krishna as the absolute God. So they're not confused by that, right? It's like whatever is beneficial for you to seek God, then you can use that form or image or qualities, right? So fantastic. Right?
Yes. Pause.
Oh, pause.
Improvement facts.
Improvement
we love you.
facts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Mama. Ute Dahlheimer is my mom. Thank you.
Ute. Thank you, Mama Ute. Amazing.
Okay, we get a lot of comments. Also, they explaining the way they see God.
Oh yeah.
So shall we read through them? So
yeah, absolutely.
We include them more. Okay, I'll keep reading. Where were we? God is seat of infinite universe. Yeah, the concept of infinite universes just blew my mind just the other day. Infinite, yeah. God is ocean of peace. That's very beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Where are we? God, generator Brahma, organizer Vishnu, destroyer Shiva. God is the nature of all existence, orchestrating from the realms beyond the physical. Beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah. Then and Kit said, "Sir, you take on Stephen Hawking, say there is no God." And then someone said, "There is no Stephen Hawking."
Yeah, that's just the limited scientific view, right? Thinking that if you can't observe something scientifically, then it doesn't exist. But then that's taking out the whole role of the observer, right? So that's the debate of objective world versus subjective reality. And if it wasn't the fact of your subjective awareness, you couldn't say that any objective anything exists, right? So we got to remember that in the physical world, our very consciousness and the capacity to experience anything through the senses, that is our direct link to God, because God is the consciousness that manifests as all life, right? So yeah, it's a limited scientific view, and I think science is finally advancing. In my mind, there's enough scientific evidence to be like, oh, the Vedas and Upanishads were right all along, right? Because we're talking about like Now we're talking about scientific, like I haven't investigated this too much, but the meta universe, right? It's like a digital something, or the matrix, thinking that we're inside a computer, right? And then because of all our atoms and quarks and particles, is just vibrating energy, right? So science knows enough now to be like, oh, everything is consciousness. So where does that consciousness comes from? Well, comes from God,
Yeah.
the infinite absolute source.
Yeah, and Daniel Stewart, he says, I like God as Shiva consciousness, or infinite field of consciousness as the universe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Mhm.
Our words. Satish is Shiva Allah God Jehovah. Jehovah. Oh, Jehovah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, sorry. I don't know. It's all one. Yeah.
Totally.
Om Burbu
Vasahat Tatsavitur Virenyam Bergo Devasya Dhimai Dio Yona Prachodayat. I really don't know the tune, but I know the mantra. Yeah, I used to listen to that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that, what mantra is that? Is that the Gayatri mantra?
No. Mula? Maybe Mula mantra?
No, the Mula mantra is way longer. That's Ekonkar.
Oh, okay, never mind. We are ways behind of the chat,
Okay,
so I don't know. Shall we just quickly
skip ahead? Yeah.
Oh, I lost it now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, sorry, we missed a lot of comments. We're gonna go all the way down now. Do you believe in Vedic astrology?
To be honest, I never dived into the astrology teachings so much, just because of, the teachings that I got coming up is that, yeah, there is some truth to it, but from a certain point of view, like if you're somewhere else in the universe and you're talking about constellations, then those constellations, they actually don't exist in reality from a different angle, right? You're not going to see it. So to me, it was more about, seeking, the absolute truth, right? But there is some truth to it because it's still within our mind, right? And everything is arising from mind, right? So people have been able to use that for whatever purposes.
Spark of creativity. We read your comment, so please stop writing it before I have to block you, which I don't want to do, but I think that because there was last time also someone repetitively commenting, and it just it disturbs a little bit the flow of the chat. So please, Spark, we hear you. And we love you. He's one of the daily commentators. It's really amazing. Improvement facts. Once again,
thank you.
Namaste.
Oh, you got
what is? He can write something. What's your message to Christian missionaries?
To be honest, I think that Christian missionaries, they can do some good if they understand that what they need to be doing is just helping needy and poor people. But the problem is conversion, as you all know. So in my mind, and I don't want to get in any sort of trouble for saying this, but if a Hindu converts to Christianity, and this is just my personal opinion, it's kind of like a downgrade, right? In a sense, because it's a limited view of God, whereas the Hinduistic view is more unlimited, right? So to think Jesus is the only way actually limits what Jesus was teaching in a very fundamental way that led to all sorts of horrible atrocities. So if they're trying to convert people to that view, then you have more people with a limited view, right? So we need an unlimited view of reality, right? And then within that view, and that's why Hinduism, I think, to begin with, was so able to be, conquered and converted in a sense, because they were so accepting of other views. They would accept, Jesus and even the Prophet Muhammad, and right, and then it kind of all backfired. But anyways, so my wish and my goal at this point in time, put this into the universe, is actually the youth and the younger generation within India. They need to re-embrace their sacred teachings. And then that needs to spread like wildfire, which is why we love Satguru so much, because he's just doing so much, right? Throwing it down. So we have a video coming out that we watched of his called his Decade of Action. So that'll be published in next week. And hopefully everybody watches it just to see what this man is doing, right? So the youth, we need to, Vedas, Upanishads, it's true, it's truth, right? So
okay.
Yeah.
But couldn't you argue, because I know that someone was a Buddhist and then converted to Christianity, and I was so surprised at that point. I thought it was like it's like, oh my God, why would you do that? Why would you all of a sudden believe in a God when there is no God? But if I believe if that person would go all in, like bhakti yoga, just towards Jesus and God the Father, then that is still a path. And because it's all, if you really go for it, and you will have realizations, and that realization will lead you to an unlimited view. So it's still possible.
So I love what you just touched on there. It's like, so the seeking is going to lead the person to what religion or belief system is most beneficial for them. But before the seeking happens, it's just you're given a belief system and then you're indoctrinated into that. And that's most Christian missionaries, are like that. Jesus is the only way, and this is just what we believe. But it's been given to them. There hasn't been any real seeking. So for somebody going from one religion to the other, there's going to be some sort of karmic, destiny at play then. And then maybe they can really use, the teachings of Jesus to advance, incredibly high spiritually, like, salvation, enlightenment, and all of these higher states. But if there's no seeking, then there's no real progress.
So it was the Gayatri mantra. And actually, I just went through the lyrics of the Gayatri mantra in my head. And I didn't recognize it because of Roger's tune. So
we're going to have to watch a video on the actual tune. I did listen to it quite a bit years ago. But...
Okay. Dhruv Rava. God is a supreme being which makes us feel loved as a part soul. As a part and parcel of him. Sorry, though. The chat started.
I love that. Perfect.
Yeah, nice. Then Satish, one has to become soul conscious to connect to Supreme Soul, God our Father.
Yeah, so this is spiritual awakening, right? So conscious.
Yeah. And then Apurv Chaudhary. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much.
He says, he or she, I don't know. I watch your videos before I go to sleep, and it has really helped me to make me feel relaxed and have a peaceful sleep. So thank you and lots of love.
Okay, I want to say no. Thank you to that, because that's incredible, and because so my goal is that we got to make spirituality, and seeking God and truth, popular again in this world. It's like people don't want to talk about, God and truth and spirituality because of, the religious divisions that kind of make it difficult. You don't want to talk about it. It's kind of like politics, right? You don't want to talk about it because then you're going to get into a heated debate and argument, right? So especially for the youth and the younger generation, any of you out there that is, a youth, Satguru doing his youth in truth. We need to regain this wisdom.
Yeah, so beautiful. We're so happy that you fall asleep with some really beautiful videos. And we are very lucky. We watched so many really deep, very beautifully, very motivating and inspiring videos. We feel very blessed. And then of course we feel blessed because you watch it with us. It's beautiful.
It's a great time.
So teach, God does not fall in the cycle of life and death. It's beyond.
Beyond, but within, right?
If Earth is there, where are you guys sitting? In this beautiful illusion, we're sitting in Canada. There is no difference between God and Bhagwan. Oh, I think they were talking about Ramana Maharshi, and someone said he's God, and someone said he's not God.
Yeah, and to be honest, I got to research that word because I always equated, Bhagwan with God, but then somebody's correcting me in the comment section saying that, that Bhagwan is the better word, for Krishna, for example, right? I'll say Krishna is God, and then somebody will say, no, he's Bhagwan. So I don't really know what that word means, I guess. But anyway, to me, and that's the definition, like, what are you talking about? So, because I know somebody who believes in Krishna is going to believe that he's the source of absolutely everything. And to me, that's the definition. That's my definition of God, right? And people don't like the word God because of what Abrahamic religions have done with it. But we need to go beyond that and say, what does it actually mean, right?
Yeah. And Shubham says, you know what? When you will get eager to know him, your tears will never stop. That's how the love for God works. I do get that.
Oh, yeah. Bhakti.
Yeah. Hi, DJ Destruction.
Hey-ho.
Yeah, some names are just like sticking out, like Pratyek Tare. Very familiar. Seek with Seeker. He's a really funny guy. I don't know what he's talking about now. Yeah, you're being naughty again.
Could be.
Radhe, Drew.
Radhe.
Oma and Opa is here. My grandparents.
Welcome.
Herzergreifend, eure Botschaften der Liebe zuzuhören und so. Wir lieben euch. Oh, wir lieben euch auch. We love you too. Sweet. They're really proud of us and that we're spreading love and kindness and positivity. It's very nice. Yeah. Satish, through God, we all are connected right now in this meeting. Yeah. We cannot not be connected because we're all coming from one source.
Non-duality, right?
Yeah.
It's just the veil that makes us seem like we're separate.
I don't know what Madeira is. If drinking Madeira becomes a part of spirituality, then Russian must be gods themselves.
No idea.
No idea. But my sister's boyfriend is Russian, so he might know Madeira, but I don't know. Right now we are all connected to one God. Yeah, source. Sir Sadhguru said, India is a godless culture. Context, it was probably said in a specific context.
Sadhguru says so much.
And Sadhguru is a bit of a rebel sometimes. He likes to put things into different words that really make you attentive and listen to him. So it was probably a very skillful teaching at that time.
But he could have been referring to the fact that just like all cultures, like even so-called religious cultures and religious people, we're not actually practicing the teachings. It's like, where is the love, right? Where is the unity and the connection and the oneness? And without that, where's God? Because God is the source of that, right? So yeah, that's happening everywhere in the world. Somebody commented a while ago in our comment section just about how like 90% of India, has lost their spirituality. And I don't know if that's 100% true, but somebody mentioned it. And it's not just India. If it is true there, like it's true everywhere. It's like I grew up in Canada in a Christian home, right? But where was the real spirituality, the real, Christianity, the real love one another? Because it's not about love one another. It's about get everybody to believe what you believe, and then I'll like you, maybe, right? So anyways.
Yeah, and I have more family joining here. My auntie, Tante Heike, is here. It's wonderful.
Heike.
I feel so blessed.
Okay.
So many friends now, all of you are friends, and then plus my family is this lifetime. It's just the most fortunate for me. And I have incredible close spiritual friends that always keep me on the path. Or I mean, I'm always on the path, but just really help me. So blessed. Anyways, we have more questions. Are we going with questions?
Sure.
Do you know about Sufism?
Sufism, yes, it's the mystical branch of Islam, right? And I haven't dived into it, any more than that, really. But I'm really intrigued. Reading Sri M's book right now. Sabina just finished it, and then she said that I had to read it like right now. So I had to stop the Satguru book I was reading. I'm reading Inner Engineering, but I put that aside so I could read Sri M. And he talks a lot about Sufi saints and whatnot. So the mystical branches, and David Hawkins talked about it in his books as well, that the mystical branches of all religions, are the higher aspects of those religions. So of course there's in Christianity as well, because there is saints and sages and enlightened beings within all religions. The problem is in certain religions that was really frowned upon. So they had to be careful. If they came out, they could be executed, right? Because it was, and it still is in parts of the world, considered a sin if you say that you're one with God. But I think that's changing because a lot of spiritual people, there's a teaching now saying that I am God, we are God, right? So I prefer to hold the view that we are part of God, because until you attain enlightenment, no, you haven't realized that. So.
There's a question by Ajit Gautam. Do you know Danavas?
Danavas.
Yeah, migrated from India, the descendants of Danu, which are called as Anu tribe in Rig Veda, and now as Celts, as the god was called Danan.
No, I don't know that at all.
That's new.
I have to check that out.
Okay, Seek with Seeker. My question is why is it difficult to carry spirituality consistently? Why that thing miss after some days, especially at my age? Yeah. What age are you again? You're a bit younger, aren't you? Like a bit younger than us.
I think he's in his 20s, maybe. But anyway, it's just for that. Oh, you want to?
No.
Just because of the level of consciousness of the collective field of mankind, I would say, right? Is because in reality, there's one source, there's one infinite field of consciousness, right? Manifesting as all things. And within that field, there's a field of human consciousness, right? And that's why it's so important for spiritual seekers to advance spiritually, because then we can raise the level of the whole field. But right now in the world, there's so much negative stuff happening that, even unconsciously, you want to be a spiritual person and you want to be kind and loving and caring, and letting go of the negativities. But then for no reason, it seems that something will just, sideswipe you, and then you'll get caught up in anger or you get triggered, right? So it's all an opportunity to practice. So we need to be mindful, of the emotion and not kind of block it, but really feel into it. And we could practice the letting go technique, which is, really feel the emotion, let it express, don't express it, outward onto others, because then it just spreads. It's like poison spreading in the world. So yeah, it's difficult. It's the most opportune time, I think, in human history, just with the amount of spiritual information we have. But it's not going to come to anything if we don't practice it. Those who are, called to be spiritual, then we have to be the lights. We have to make it popular. We have to talk about it. We have to be the ones that forgive, right?
Yes.
Forgiveness is just the biggest key, because from a point of view, once you understand ignorance and the veil of Maya and delusion, you can see that people don't know what they're doing, right? People are just being mean and angry, because of their, the modes of material nature and their level of consciousness. And it's like we're talking about a zombie apocalypse. You can kind of see how it is, what people are unconscious, right? People are just led by their, sense gratification. And if they're not met, then they get angry, and it's just a lot of negativity, right? So we can see others who are being mean and negative and enemies, you have to love them, right? So this is prime teaching of Jesus, right? Love one another,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Forgive and let go. Exactly, Borg.
mhm.
And patience and persistence, and just keep going and going and going. And
Yeah.
patience and persistence. I am positive. Yes, let's be positive.
Positive. Oh yes.
So many comments. Cricket lover. God is everywhere. You have those inside eyes to see Krishna.
Mhm.
Are you guys familiar with Jeffrey Armstrong? Not me, no.
I think I might have heard the name before, but I never looked into it. No.
Ma'am, your view on why humans fight against humans. Well,
I think I just
Roger
covered it.
It says ma'am.
Oh,
It's me.
oh, okay. I thought it said man.
Ma'am. Oh no, man.
Why man fights against man?
No, ma'am. Yeah, I would agree with Roger. It's due to ignorance. They just don't know better, and then they do what they have to do, unfortunately. But as also Roger said, we have to, the ones who are aware of spirituality, who are aware of a different path than fighting and being angry and grumpy with the world, we have to step up and really, really practice and live this reality, this path. And once we live that path, and then, first of all, if it takes fruit, then you're on a different level. And if you see humans fighting, you will see it differently. You will not be emotionally involved, and you might even see war. I mean, it's a high level, but it's possible. And I did get some glimpses of that. Even the tragedies on this planet, you will see as a divine play, and that there is technically nothing wrong with it. I know it's very hard to digest, but there are different levels to our consciousness and our being, and depending on what level it is, you're more outside focused and try to fix the world. But if you are more inside focused and attain a higher level, you can the world looks very different to you. Yeah. And so if we do the work, if we go out there, if we are loving and kind and wise and, not a doormat, but, just beautiful beings radiating like Sadhguru does, like Vivekananda, like all these great sages, if we live up to our highest potential, then anything is possible. And this world will, first of all, not look the same, but it will also transform because it has to. Yeah. Oh, I said something.
Well said, Sabina. Good job.
Yeah. No, we have not watched the full moon satsang with Sadhguru. We are so busy, and someone else also asked us if we're full-time YouTubers, and yes, we are. We don't have a second job. It would not be possible. We are very busy. We have a very tight schedule, and all we do is YouTube, and then I'm enrolled in another course, and that's what I'm doing. And yeah, so Sadhguru will be, once we both read in engineering and are more familiar, and then we do all the Sadhguru programs. But for now, it's
so that being said, as full-time YouTubers, this is our livelihood right now, and it's not enough.
we can pay food, but not rent or any.
Members only section. It's a fairly new feature on YouTube, right? And that's why we're starting to actively promote, to get members. And we're so happy that we've gotten like 10 world yogis.
11, I think,
in the last couple of weeks. So we want to thank our brand new world yogis and all of our other members for joining our channel, because it's an opportunity for you guys to, support us so we can pay rent and eat and continue to do this. Because if we can do this full time, like, it's not about earning money. Some people have commented in the past as like, oh God, you're watching spiritual videos to make money. And it's like, no, we're watching spiritual videos to watch spiritual videos. And we're, recording us so that we can inspire others to do the same, and that we can learn together. Because if we raise our levels of consciousness together and we become more spiritual, and then we're more free, like when you're part of a group of spiritual people, then it becomes less difficult, to share that and spread that with others, right? And that's what this world needs right now more than anything. It's like nothing is going to change out there until we, the people, start to actually, recognize the truth and be conscious of it, that we're one in reality and non-duality. What does that mean, right? So seeking the truth, seeking God, and then spread and share that. So thank you so much to all of our members. And then if any of you would like to join us, you just need to hit the join button and check it out. We got channel emojis, which I love. And the more members we have, the more emojis we can create.
We need one more member, and then we're going to make a Kali emoji.
We're going to do Kali next.
So we need one more member, and then it gets unlocked.
Because one of the God videos we watched was, of course, Alan Watts talking about the nature of God, and then really dived right into Kali as the emptiness, the void, the blackness. Yeah, and we loved it. So then the next day, Sabina whipped up a Kali emoji.
Yeah, I loved. I didn't know enough about Kali, but I do love the divine. The divine feminine, right? Because also all the teachers we covered so far, they were, in male form. And then just hearing about the feminine aspect, and also something that I would like to, I don't know, that is not quite unleashed maybe within me. I can be very bossy and very manly. And also that the black, like the dark, symbolizes that. And that's why we were joking yesterday, because my side of the world behind me is really dark. And first we thought, oh, it might be too dark. But then I thought it's a beautiful symbol of the divine, of the feminine energy. So that's nice. Anyways.
Yeah, because we always perceive, God as light and the source of light and truth, in consciousness. But what about just the pure black void of empty space, right? So in that video, Alan Watts is saying that if it wasn't for the emptiness and the darkness of space, you wouldn't be able to see the things that pop out of it. So even stars, they're coming out of space. And then I love the correlation.
Stars are suns.
Yes, if you guys did not know that.
Sorry. To discover God, one has to follow his heart. Yes, that seeking impulse, right?
Yeah.
You're doing great work. Thank you. Bhakti yoga is the love for the highest, and rest will automatically fall. Beautiful. Yeah. Positivity is needed in this world. It is.
Absolutely.
It is. And even if you don't have a good time, even if you're grumpy or, you're just not in a good mood, even then you can just, what did I want to say with that? Wait a second. I had a really good thought there.
If you're negative and down in the dumps, what can you do?
No? I lost my thought. Sorry. I lost it. I have to stop. Completely lost it. Oh, I had a good thing. Maybe it will come back. Oh, who knows? Positivity. Yes, positivity. Oh, maybe I can say that even if you're going through a rough time, even though the rough time is not pleasant, but maybe in the future you will look back and you will realize that this negative phase was actually a really important phase, even though it is very unpleasant. So negativity, it feels awful, but it can be the results, what can come out of it. It can be very transformative, empowering, purifying. So we shouldn't be too fast in labeling negativity and feeling awful as bad. Maybe that's what I want to say.
Feel into it, experience it, and then be open to something blossoming from it, right? I often say that, the darkest times of my history. If it wasn't for that, then I wouldn't be a spiritual seeker now on the path, right? So
yeah. Pratik B is here, and he shared all the emojis. We love that.
Sweet, nice.
Yeah, light this world up. Make it colorful and positive and just joyful.
Mm-hmm. So many emojis on the screen right now. Wow.
Yeah, and lots of hearts and
beautiful. Thank you so much, everybody, joining us.
Coney is here too.
Coney, excellent. Welcome.
Shar Sahib Zada. No, I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. Shar. No,
not yet.
I think is that the comment that you left the other day? Yeah, it's just I Googled it briefly, and then just the story of his 4 sons, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't research enough to really know anything about it.
Yeah. Ooh. The Smile of Krishna. Hello, beautiful name. Oh, and we have Steve Jobs in here.
Hey, sweet.
Where are we? Maya means illusion of mind. Yes. Okay, we go all the way down. Do you guys go to the hill or forest for meditation? No.
Well, we can talk about, we did in the past. We went into the Himalayas.
Yeah, that was,
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but we don't, yeah.
But we did do retreats in the past, right? Yeah. Meditation retreats. But now, no, we don't. It's like minus too cold outside right now.
Yeah, minus 20, and we stay inside. Yeah. Thank you, Germany. Lots of love and keep doing this work. Thank you, Klaus.
But we do meditation practice every morning and evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we are meditating and practicing.
Yeah, it's very important. And the last few months were very intense for me. So my it was actually the first time that I got into meditation again. I haven't meditated for years because I had to work out other stuff, lots of trauma. So I did lots of therapy, which was super incredibly beneficial. And during that time, I couldn't sit. I was so full of anxiety. The body was just so nervous, and my mind was just racing like crazy. Sitting down did have the opposite effect of calming me down. It actually made me agitated even more. So I start regularly, daily, since September again. And at the beginning, I went for time, but then lately, I just don't bother about the time anymore. And it's more like really the quality of the meditation and connecting, like going deep. And like Sadhguru says in the Karma book, you can't produce awareness. You can create the space for awareness to flow through you. And I don't know if anybody watching here has had the fortune to experience what it's like to be aware. Lots of people do think, but it is not. Like I have, it's the first time awareness was flowing through me. I say flow through me. I mean, it's probably, there is a better way to explain it, but in September. And before that, I was on the journey for 10 years and never really had the taste of awareness. So it's a different quality.
Yeah, there's a big difference. So the difference is mental alertness or awareness, right? And it's a different quality. I can see it very clearly for me. It's like I had to kind of jump for me because I just surrendered absolutely everything. And then in that place, a space for awareness, was created. So if you surrender all of your beliefs, all of your positionalities, all of your opinions about everything, if you do that, then what remains is awareness. But when you have all the mental content, that's what's running the show. It's your ego, psychological, mental mind that, it can be alert, and concentrated, but it's different than, just a pure awareness free of thought. So,
Prabin asked, do you have experienced samadhi or Brahma? So Brahma means like, God? Oh, God.
I think if they're equating samadhi with Brahman, then it's just like a higher mystical experience, right?
Well, I don't know the real definition of samadhi. But I did get tastes of something beyond the mind, especially in September when I did a retreat. Yes, and it's hard to explain, but it's only glimpses. Like I was in a state of awareness for like 3.5 months, and then woof, I dipped into a valley experience for 3 weeks, and now I'm just becoming lighter again, more spacious. But I don't know, samadhi. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't say. I would say no.
Yeah, I think that's a higher absorption into the meditative state, like Satguru, where he was in a trance state for however many days, right? Or when the time just flies, right? So yeah, that's a very high meditative
and you
state.
probably don't have any recollection, whereas I can recollect everything. But I did have experience of flow state, which was the coolest experience of my life, where I was doing things, but I was not doing things. That was really enjoyable. So yeah, these higher states, oh my God, they're really enjoyable. And then you also, that's where the faith then, and like even the devotion and everything becomes more, because you have the experience like, wow, so it is possible. It is even possible here in this town that, is not the coolest town, I have to say, but it's still possible because the outside doesn't have anything to do with your inner experience.
So a lot of people are commenting on what samadhi means. It means death. Means
no, then no.
Well, death of the ego,
I
maybe.
know,
So complete peace, leaving the body, attaining complete peace. So no, we have not experienced that.
No.
But right, and that's why I always say that, people want to put spirituality, and this sort of truth kind of on a pedestal, saying that, okay, you got to experience it, and then if you don't have direct realizations, then you're not advanced enough to do anything. And I want to encourage spiritual people that, you're at a level of consciousness now, and then just your conceptual realizations by taking in spiritual information, then you can understand, we can intellectually understand, non-duality and higher truth. And it's a little bit of a debate saying that, well, if you understand it, then you can't experience it, and you need to experience it. But what if, like, how's that going to come about, right? So you need your conceptual realizations, and then we need to be that. We need to bring that into the world so we can behave as if we're all one family and love one another, even before we're enlightened, right? And that may be the very thing that purifies us enough to become enlightened one day. So spiritual people need to act, right? So karma yoga, we got to be the change we wish to see in the world. So we change ourselves, even just conceptual realizations. And then we understand, we need to love one another. We need to forgive. And then you need to practice that. We can't just say, okay, I'll forgive everybody once I'm enlightened, because then you're never going to be enlightened. You got to forgive people before, as part of the purification process. And that's undoing the negative karma, right? Because your negative karma, when you're angry and you hate somebody, well, that's the manifestation of some negative karma that you did in the past. So if you don't forgive, then you're just perpetuating that. And that's the cycle, the endless cycle of rebirth and negative experiences manifesting, right? So if you want to break the chain, then you need to practice. You need to forgive. You need to meditate. You need to see. You need to take in the spiritual information. And then you can slowly, climb out of the pit.
I think we had 2 questions. How to indulge in spirituality when you have a regular job, like a busy lifestyle. And it is not easy. It is very easy for me now to meditate. All I'm doing is YouTube, and YouTube is all about spirituality. So, and it's very, very easy. Before, when I was working, it is not impossible if you really want it, right? And I would really suggest, that's what I'm doing at the moment too. Every morning, every evening, just take a few minutes to go really deep and connect. Like, don't set the time or whatever. It doesn't matter how long, but just once or twice a day, really connect to awareness, to God, whatever you're understanding, try to go really deep and feel spacious. Or, like the one Sikh guy we watched, really use a trigger word that makes you really expansive and get in touch with that on a daily basis. It will do something. And otherwise, during the day, if you have a busy life, then you can practice karma yoga, surrendering everything, plus patience and forgiveness and all these kind of beautiful practices. Yeah, it does. Spirituality, like Sadhguru and many masters say, doesn't have to be on the cushion, and often it actually is not on the cushion.
Yeah, there's a lot of spiritual gurus, in recent history. They're saying, like Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta Maharaj, they were more of the line of saying people that, no, in your daily lives, right? You gotta be spiritual, even just having a family or having a job, right? Practice the teachings in the world. And this is very much, karma yoga. So the way I practice karma yoga, and I've been practicing it for years, is I understood it as, so non-duality, my ego, is the veil, is the ignorance, is the delusion, right? And in reality, there is no ego, right? The Buddha nature is always there. It's ignorance and delusion that clouds it. So I am the Buddha nature. So everything is God, even all animated things. So when you surrender your actions onto God, you're saying, there is no doer, right? There is no actor. There is just an unfoldment and a manifestation of activity, but I'm surrendering my actions to God. So it's like, God is the doer, the actor, right? And then that plants the seeds for eventually being able to attain enlightenment and drop the ego, right? Because I'm not claiming that I'm doing anything. So, yeah, that's, and then planting the seeds, right? It's important that we can have an intention and a declaration that, okay, enlightenment is the final goal, whether I attain it in this lifetime or the next. By holding it in mind, that's going to stay within the consciousness, within the mind stream, and then it'll be a favorable rebirth. And what I mean by favorable means that I'll stay on the path, right? And I'll be on the path, because in this world, with so much going on out there and so many distractions and people not understanding the precious opportunity that we have, it can be squandered and lost. And then you die when all you've been seeking is sense gratification and material possessions and pleasure, right? And then where are you going to go? You didn't set a spiritual intention that's going to progress you on the path in next lifetimes, right? And if you don't do that, then you have no control, right? The only control that we really have is the intention that we set now while we're alive.
Nice.
Here and now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, maybe you can answer. What do you think about the Yugas and also Maya?
Okay.
Maya and Yugas. I'll be back.
Yeah. So the way I understand the Yugas are just the cycles of creation and existence, right? And I never dived into these teachings too much just yet. Like I said, we're just really beginning to get into Hinduism, and Hinduism is the ones that are mostly teaching this. Buddhism did a little, and we did study Buddhism quite a bit, but never dived into that aspect. So what I'm getting now recently from the Yugas is just the Kali Yuga, and then just the understanding of what that is. And then some people are debating in our comment section. Some people say that it hasn't started yet. Some people say that it has. And in my mind, this is what rings the most true for me, is that it started at the time Krishna left, whenever that would have been. So some people say 5,000 years ago, some people say 10,000 years ago. But remember, the dates aren't really what's important. It's the teachings that are important, right? And if this is the Kali Yuga, then we can see it. It is the dark time, right? But there also is this teaching in there that there's going to be like a 10,000 year grace period where we have the power, kind of, as humanity, as to what direction we're going to go. Either we're going to be able to, uplift the whole, or after 10,000 years, it's just going to decline completely. And then all spirituality is going to be lost. And then it's going to be like a hell realm for the next 100,000 years or whatever it is. And then that's going to be it. And then it's going to reset. So, yeah, so that's basically all I know. And that's just my understanding. So don't take it as fact. I'll have to do more research on that. And then Maya, the other question. So Maya to me is just the veil, right? So Krishna's teaching, you have the Yoga Maya, which is the veil of himself, how God veils himself, from the existence. And then we have Maya, the soul Maya, which is just the ignorance, right? And the dualistic perception, which means that, and in a way it was necessary for the evolution of mankind. We needed to have an ego mind that perceives ourselves as separate from others. Otherwise, we wouldn't have survived. Humanity would have been lost. We would have just, we would have saw the tiger or the lion or the wolves as one of us, and they would have just ate us all, right? So we needed to set up those boundaries in those societies and those groups in order to survive. But the problem is that different groups coming up against other groups of humans with different language, and then different, right? So even though we're the same creation, we're all human beings, we see each other as different and separate. And then that creates conflict, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, that is what Maya is, right? That's the ignorance of dualistic perception. We perceive others as different and separate, right? So if you can understand non-duality, even conceptually, then you can begin to go beyond that. And then we can start to see us as all one, right? So in reality, everything is an appearance to our mind, which means everything is within our individual mind. And we take that as, okay, so we're one with everything, right? So everything is the manifestation of mind, consciousness, awareness, right?
Yeah. God is transcendental energy.
Yes.
What else? I want to talk us about cosmology again. Is cosmology and astrology the same? I don't know.
Well, I think the Vedas go into detail about Hindu cosmology. And no, like I said, we're still pretty new to Hinduism, right? I did dive into the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads a little bit, just, the teachings of truth, like what's going to get me to enlightenment, because that was my main goal, and absolute truth, right? So the cosmology, in the history of how the creation manifested and, and all of that in the different realms, I didn't dive into that too much, right? It didn't really interest me, but eventually we're definitely going to watch videos on it and learn more about that. But I do know about some of the heavenly realms, right? So there is realms of existence, beyond this universe, right? Like the real heavenly realms that are out of this samsara, right? So samsara is the cycle of rebirth. Then you have the different realms of existence, within it, human realm, demigod, God realms. And remember, we're living in an infinite universe, right? Infinite possibilities. Yeah, there's lots of realms of existence out there.
Facts No Lie, one of our members. Awareness is your thoughts, feelings, emotions go by. Probably observing them go by. Yeah, I would say you're not them anymore.
Yeah,
you are beyond them.
Yeah, so awareness is the recognition that, there's a consciousness, an awareness, and a presence that is always there, no matter what the content of the mind is, right? So a lot of people, they're so caught up in the thoughts and thinking that they're the thinker of the thoughts that even silence is disturbing to them, right? And it scares them. And these are the people who get bored easily because they always need something for their mind to be doing, right? So once the mind silences a little bit, then there can be a glimpse, of an awareness and a consciousness that's always present and always aware. And if it wasn't there, then there wouldn't be any thoughts at all. So consciousness and awareness is like the content or the context, right? So it's the ground, it's the field of the mind, and everything appearing within the mind is the content, right? And so that can't be you because it's an appearance to the you.
Mahashivratri on the 1st of March. Yes, it's in our calendar.
Nice. We're not going to miss that one.
No, online, live. Yeah.
Online.
A question: if God is everything, then negative also God?
Yeah, I see this as, okay, so non-duality, God is everything, but within non-duality, there's also duality, obviously, right? And then so the negativity in my mind is, our dualistic ego perception and our opinions of things and whatever level of consciousness we're at, right? So evil is really going to enter into the picture, based on humanity in conflict. As soon as you see yourself as separate from others and they're the enemy, right? And then whatever sort of opinions and belief systems spark this rivalry, then yeah, that's where we're at. And right now in human history, we've had so much of this conflict and negativity where people are fighting about different beliefs and opinions, that's kind of embedded itself into the human consciousness. And now negativity is just seen to be normal, right? When it's not. And in reality, so to be on the spiritual path, people will sometimes see you and think that you're going insane by, relinquishing your opinions and your positionalities and trying to evolve spiritually. They'll see that as going insane when actually you're becoming sane, right? So to see everyone as one and to become more loving and kind and peaceful, it's like, and it's not hard to see when you're truly spiritual and you truly observe things. It's like humanity is one. It's one creation. It's one appearance, right? There is no real difference. Skin color, belief system, different languages, right? That's just a product of, the ego mind, the psychological mind that learned language. And then, so all the divisions in the world, really, you can see as just being barriers based upon language and culture and upbringing and belief systems, right? But it's all psychological, right? But in reality, once you get beyond the psychological mind, then it's just boom. I have pure, pristine awareness, and so do you. Oh, we're the same. We're one, right?
Alvin Francis is here. Hello.
Hello.
He says, so does such a thing as consciousness exist, or is it just awareness being conscious of itself?
Consciousness exist. Well, yeah, I think, consciousness and awareness to me, like it's what they're pointing to, right? So I use the words interchangeably, right? Because, consciousness is the act of awareness, being aware, and isn't awareness conscious? So I use them interrelatedly. But yeah, so it's the ground and it's the substrate of the mind, right? So within our human experience, you can say, consciousness, if it wasn't for consciousness, then we wouldn't be able to be aware of any of the sense perceptions. It's like even the body, we're only aware of the body, touch. I touch my arm, but I can only be aware of that because of my consciousness, right? So the mind is higher than the body, and the consciousness is the ground of the mind itself. And then you could go beyond that and say that, okay, well, awareness is the all-pervasive infinite field of the mind of God, right? And then that's manifesting into consciousness, right?
Exactly. What else? Hi, Sabina, just now returned from duty. Very good, Ram. Yeah, we all have to do our duty in this world. We did watch Osho on There Is No God.
Yeah, we watched that. It's in our God playlist.
Yeah, check it out. So some people say, if Osho said there is no God, what does that mean?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so we talked about it in that video, and Osho talked about it too, right? So some people got angry at Osho in that video in our comment section saying that, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. There is no God. But he says very clearly that he's not atheist. He's just saying there is no God to kind of get you to think, right? Because I think he was speaking more to people brought up from the Abrahamic traditions. with a very personified version of God in the sense of like a white beard up in the clouds. And that's what he was getting at, that version of God, anthropomorphized, judging, wrathful, hateful, hurtful God just waiting for you to die so he can judge you. He's saying that God doesn't exist, right? And
Yeah.
I believe that. So we touched on that too. It's like that anthropomorphized negative version of God is not the absolute. Yeah, there's other deities and even demoniac entities, that exist in this all expansive existence, but they're not God, right?
Mm.
So a better definition of an anthropomorphized version of God would be Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, and his qualities. They're not human, frail, egoic qualities. They're just pure love, peace. Like even in the Bhagavad Gita, when he doesn't deny, the bad guy, right? The other guy, the Kauravas, I believe, right? So the Pandavas are the good guys, and then Arjuna, he becomes the charioteer for Arjuna, but he doesn't deny the bad guy. The bad guy still wants help from God, and he gives him his whole army, right? So, so he's going to help everybody, right? Even the bad guys.
I can't wait to listen to the Bhagavad Gita, because we will cover it on his channel here, chapter by chapter. Anyways, good news, your sister's here.
Oh, no way.
And
hey.
With the Corey Moorside name.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. There was something else I thought of. Oh, someone said, which God do you believe in? So I really like this teaching by the Sikh. His name is
Satpal Singh, and his channel is
Nanak Nam.
Nanak Nam.
Very beautiful. And I thought God does cover the word, but then I was actually meditating on it, and what actually makes my mind extremely, spacious, and it's like, oh, you almost feel like the bliss rushing through. And that is what he also says, like the infinite unfolding, the infinite unfoldment. And that is something almost like you can't grasp. And because you can't grasp, you can't put a label on it, maybe. Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, totally. Because you can't label it. It's just almost like blows your mind. It's like boof. And then you stay in that space, and it's very beautiful. So that is my definition of God now, an infinite unfoldment beyond duality and non-duality, and beyond everything we can conceptualize. And I do believe that we cannot grasp God with our minds. It is an experience that is beyond understanding and putting any labels on. That's my definition of God.
Yeah, I love that video and his definition too. He also called it blossoming, right? Immersed in the supreme being. And they're all just pointers. He said they're all just pointers, pointing at that reality. So the word God, itself is limited because there's so many definitions of it. And people want to fight about it.
Lakshman, I don't think you will be lucky, but the future's uncertain. I do like my hair cut. And I do not believe in women should never cut their hair according to Hinduism. I do not believe that at all, to be honest. You should never eat meat. You should never not eat meat. You should never do this and that. You should never wear black clothes. You should never wear only white clothes. It's
limiting to materiality, right? So that's why I love the teachings of David Hawkins, where he went into that and calibrated everything. And it's like physicality. It's like even in the religious traditions where people have to wear certain things and have adornments and attire and look a certain way. That's all on the level of form, right? And as spiritual people, we want to go beyond form, right? So So in reality, it's our intention and our inclination, our desire for truth that's going to lead us out of, the pits of samsara. It's not, it really has very little to do with what you're wearing, unless you're wearing like really negative things. Like if you're into heavy metal music and you're wearing like, murder on your shirt or something. Yeah, that's going to be negative, but you're not going to be a spiritual seeker if you're wearing something like that.
Well, but who knows? Maybe you transcended all that. So madman out there, that's
well, that's true.
It's one of those results.
So that's why we're holding anything is possible.
Anything is possible, and so who knows? Anyways, so maybe we should stop the chat in 10 minutes after 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
This live stream. So this morning I got news. I didn't tell Roger yet because it makes me too emotional. Oh, it starts already.
Yeah, what is it?
Oh,
what happened?
I can't say it. Oh no.
Yeah, I heard her this morning and she got some news and I could tell that she was distraught and asked her if she wanted a hug and she couldn't even accept a hug because she didn't want to start crying.
Yeah, but I would like to do a minute of silence.
Okay.
Oh, I could try. Okay. Maybe I can write it down. I don't know if I can say. Thich Nhat Hanh passed away.
Oh no.
Yep. That's very sad. Yeah, it's very sad. So, anyways, I am here with you. I get it out now.
So yeah, Thich Nhat Hanh passed away, and he was one of our favorite God videos, actually. So if you haven't watched it, go watch Thich Nhat Hanh on God. It was very beautiful. He was teaching to children about God, right, and how God is everything, right, and how just being mindful with insight and mindfulness, and concentration, we can experience God because God is here right now. It's the presence, the consciousness within all of us. And you can see the divinity and beauty of God in everything. So yeah, let's do a moment of silence for Thich Nhat Hanh.
Yeah, and
great soul.
Yeah, a great Buddhist master, and also I really appreciate. He was 95. He passed away yesterday, and of course I got messages this morning. I know. Yeah, I loved his video on God. It was so special because a Buddhist, using that word, and I know he has books on Jesus and Buddha, and it's just so beautifully open-minded and inclusive, and it shows understanding, right? And he was such a gentle soul. And at the beginning, I thought his teachings were so strange. They were so soft. But over the years, I really got to love him. And I also saw him live once. So yeah, it's very sad that when teachers you benefited so much from pass away. It did not happen very often yet, but it's very sad. But also at the same time, Thich Nhat Hanh always taught, and even when he was alive, right, to actually see him everywhere, because he's. Can you explain this before we do the minute of silence?
Thich Nhat Hanh?
Yeah, everywhere. Like you see the cloud in the coffee, and nothing is ever lost. Like nothing. Everything is okay. We're not going to talk about that. Roger doesn't know what I mean. So let's just take a minute of silence here, and then send the community maybe some love, because there will be lots of students out there that are going to be feeling the grief, and so let's just send some love in the world and hope for if he comes back, if he reincarnates, that we hope that we reconnect with him. And otherwise, he's done such a great job. He also deserves just to the bliss of.
So it's a great practice, and I try to do this whenever I hear someone passes. Is you visualize them, peaceful, right? And you can even visualize their spirit and their soul, ascending, being content and happy and peaceful, with their life and their work and their progress on the journey.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that Thich Nhat Hanh was a very, very realized soul, spreading love and truth and light into this world. So, and instead of parting with, with tears and regret, we can see it as what a contribution, what a great being. He did so much and he taught such wisdom and truth. And even if you didn't follow him, you could appreciate those who did benefit and follow his teachings.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. And thank you, Thich Nhat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 33 and Roger's 43. Next live for 25,000. We are planning on going live every month with a different topic. We already have the February topic. Oh, yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Roger was making fun of it again. But yeah, we will announce it.
Oh, yeah. I remember now.
We will announce it. So yeah, once a month it would be nice to connect with you.
Yeah, so the future, the immediate future of the channel, we're going to do some random videos for the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to slowly start diving right into the Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yes.
So we're going to watch a bunch of videos just, talking about it and promoting it, and then we'll get into the teachings of it, because Sabina has actually never read it.
No, I'm ready.
I think it's, it's foundational. All spiritual people, no matter what religion you're in, if you want to understand God, you need to read the Bhagavad Gita. So we'll be getting into that, and then we'll probably do a live stream again to talk about that eventually.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. Yes, a candle is actually burning. I was lighting a candle right away this morning for Thich Nhat. World Raising Project will reach billion of people. Archangel, beautiful name, 2.0. A billion of people. We're gonna reach, hopefully a lot, because it's such a beautiful path, and
even if and it's not about us getting a bunch of subscribers on YouTube. It's just the intention, and we're not the only ones, but it's manifesting and it's spreading, all over the world. The global awakening, is a thing and it's happening, but to increase it, then we need to be the ones that share it and help it along, right? So we've got to accept our spiritual nature and our spiritual reality, and then we be that in the world, right? So I think now is the time for those teachings to really, come to light, because there's a lot of spiritual teachers in the past that have taught that, and now we can start to do it more collectively, like a bunch of people, and then, right? So, yeah.
Description on your channel only shows squares. I will fix that. I have an idea why. So thank you so much for letting us know. Okay. Every time you notice something on the channel, right? That we're not, let us know if you can't see anything. It's important for us so we can try and fix it, because that's very bad. Let's be a team. Yes, a team for good.
Raise the World Project now. Team. So, and the intention is that we're raising ourselves, right? So we're not doing anything out there, but we're becoming responsible for our actions and our emotions and our state of mind. And we're, letting go of the negativity, right? So that's the only way to progress up the levels of consciousness. It's really a letting go, right? And then accepting where you are and then being that, right?
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah. And of course, it's very sad when statues are being destroyed, but it's due to ignorance. So it's these people just don't know any better at that very moment, which does not mean that a day later or a year later or in their very lifetime, they will, realize what they've done and regret it. So the people that destroy statues, they are just... not doing well at that moment. They're not connected to God.
It's ignorance, and it's the limited view of God, right?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Yes, I think let's stop here.
Yeah.
The questions will not end. Sorry.
This was perfect. So anybody, if you have any more questions or that you want us to cover in the future, you can leave them in the actual comment section of this video. And then any other comments you want to leave down there to any viewers who are watching, after the live stream, just comment in the comment section. Remember to hit that like button. Remember to subscribe and join us, right? We are looking for more and more channel members, right? So we have world raisers, world mystics, and world yogis so far. Right. And the more members we have, the more emojis we can do. And we truly, really appreciate and need your support. So we would love for you to join us. And then plus you're part of the collective net. And then so that intention of you being generous and helping us allows us to do this and continue to spread this into the world. So we're very grateful. And you're very much a part just by donating whatever it is, $1 a month. Makes you a part of the channel, right? That's what being a member is all about. So thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful live stream. We love you all so much. And of course, we enjoy and we love talking about spirituality and God and everything else. And there's more to learn, right? Hindu cosmology and whatever it is. We're going to continue to watch more and more videos all about Hinduism mostly for the next little while. And eventually we're going to dive into some other religions, which is why we wanted to start with Hinduism, the most accepting, right? So then when we do, we'll have very good, positive people, in the comment section, able to continue to spread it, right? Because it's truth beyond religion is what we're talking about. And you can recognize that even while you're in a religion, and then you just make your view more unlimited. So anyways, thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you on the next video.
Yeah.
So remember, raise yourself
and raise the world. Enjoy being compassionate and patient and kind and positive. And much love.
And if you haven't, please watch our video from Thich Nhat on God.
Yeah.
Be a great tribute to a great bodhisattva. Peace.